I used to think that I was too old. I used to think that it's too late for me to start. And if you're thinking the same about your dreams or whatever you want to do in your life, or you think, what would happen if I would do this? I have some advice for you. First off, the longer you wait, the harder it will be for you to start because you're gonna keep collecting these thoughts and evidence, maybe even, and finding reasons why. Why would it not work out? And it's sad because there's always 500 reasons why not to do the thing. But then if you have one good reason to start the thing, the rest of those reasons, those imaginary worst case scenarios, they will never actually happen. And this paranoia about getting yourself embarrassed or getting into cringy situation or what the parents will think, what the girlfriend will think, what your friends will think. It's so insignificant. I know it's hard to comprehend in some cases, but the more you start doing, the more you will start believing yourself. And the more you start believing yourself, the easier and more positive your life will get. Then you can achieve so much more than just staying in the comfort zone. And the longer you wait, the more confidence you're going to lose towards it as well. So keep waiting and delaying things, whichever you want to start, is never a good idea. Now, you might be stuck in life and there might be certain situations that first you need to get out of, but that's very, very rare. And most of the reasons that you have in your head right now why you can't start your dream or why you can't change careers, for example, is just fear. And if you feel fear in life, you are not free because the fear is in control of your life and you want to be free. Who doesn't want to be free? Freedom is everything for a human being. Okay. The other boundary that I used to feel myself is I felt like I was too old. I was too old to restart my career. And it's very simple to counter that. Just think about the people who aren't even born yet, or the teenagers you know. These people, they will grow up, they will start their businesses. Some of them will even become rock stars. Some of them will, I don't know, venture off to Mars. They will live their dreams. And it doesn't matter how old they are now. Because of it, it doesn't matter how old you are now. Doesn't matter if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40. Imagine your life if you would start going towards your dream today. Imagine your life in 10 years. Imagine the best possible outcome. That should be your driver. Worst possible outcome will never happen. And even if it does, at least you tried and you know that this wasn't for me. But you are building this resentment towards yourself if you're not even trying. And when you get old, it's going to be too late. Now, it's funny because I say that it doesn't matter how old you are, but if you lose your youth and you just keep building this resentment, you're going to become a bitter man, a person who is not fun to hang out with. So you got to start working towards your dreams, and then everything is going to change. You will change. You will start growing in unimaginable ways. You will become, I want to say, the best version of yourself, but a version of yourself that you will be proud of. That's the least you will become. So start following those dreams that you have and just have fun with life because you don't want to live in regret. Now, talking from my personal experience, I realized that the life I want is not for me because I'm not the man to live it, because I don't have the necessary skills to be in that point in life right now. So in order for me to get that life, I have to become the person who deserves that life, the person to earn that life, because nothing is going to fall from the sky. So I asked myself, what do I want? I started reading books, listening to audiobooks, watching videos, everything towards that thing that I really wanted. So once I started developing the required skills to become that man that would live the dream life for me, I started realizing a lot of things. And the number one thing is that I have to say no to a lot of things in order to achieve that dream. So for example, say no to people who are dragging me down. And once you start going towards a dream, you'll realize that there are a lot of people that don't want you to achieve it. There are a lot of people that they don't care about that, or at least they are not there yet. So you already outgrew those people and you don't want them to drag you down. You don't want them to keep you down. So you're gonna have to say no in hanging out with those people because you don't want that negativity in your life. You don't want those parties, that booze, whatever it is. You want to isolate yourself from those people. And I'm not saying to completely stop talking to your family. What I'm saying is just to limit it. You don't have to be a dickhead. You gotta be still nice to people if you want. You can completely go Harmozy style and don't talk to your father or mother at all. But you don't have to be that extreme. But you will have to make that sacrifice and start saying no to things that you used to enjoy. Another example would be playing video games or binging TV shows, because attention is the main currency that you have in life when you think about it. Everything you pay attention to today is gonna compound. It's gonna compound and then eventually it's gonna start paying dividends back. Imagine if you would start writing. Imagine if you write for 5 minutes a day for a year. You're gonna start developing that skill. And then once you do that for a year, after a year, you will be a much better writer. And because of that reason, because of that developed habit, the less likely you will want to quit that habit. And it's going to be much easier for you to organize your thoughts. You will become more eloquent speaker and communicator as well. So that's just one example. The other example is making videos or playing a sport or playing a piano. Now, of course, the 5-minute effort might not be enough. As I made the video earlier, I made reels for a year and I got burnt out. So you gotta be smart about it. If it's too much, you gotta find the threshold that you can keep up with in order for you not to get burnt out, in order for you to keep moving forward towards your dream. That's what happened when years ago I was building my YouTube channel, and now those videos are still online. They're just private right now. They're on this channel, and I was so underdeveloped. It's just cringe for me to watch. And who knows, maybe 5 years from now, I will watch this video and I'll feel the same way about this video. So that just shows how much I've grown. And chances are you will feel the same about your career, about your development in whichever area you'd like to go for. And saying no leads to solitude. Solitude means that you're gonna spend lots of time by yourself. If you suck in your life and if you're not happy with it, you know you want to become better, like those, I don't know, whichever idols you have, those idols wouldn't hang out with you because you are not at their level. You don't have anything to offer. You wouldn't even be able to speak to them properly because they are so far ahead of you. They're just superior. And in order for you to attract friends like that, you have to become like that. And that leads to really, as I said, eliminating the shits that are just floating around you in your life. So you gotta clean up your diet, you gotta clean up your habits, you gotta clean up your house, and you have to become that person that these people would like to hang out with. And that's why solitude and being alone and figuring the stuff out is gonna help you tremendously. Now you might be in a situation where it's very hard to start. Maybe life was super rough for you and maybe your family is really bad. You know what it is. You know all the reasons that you are feeling the victim of. But as long as you feel that way, as long as you don't take responsibility for your own life, you will never be free of them. And you will never start developing. And you will keep making excuses because of it. And those excuses are valid, but the taking responsibility for your own life, showing that you are mature enough to understand that you can change and there should be no excuses. There should be no reasons. Not anymore. Right now, if you're watching this video, you have to accept that from this day, from this very moment, you can change your life. And there might be many things to fix before that, but you got to be aware of them, first of all, and then you just got to start solving them. Solve or eliminate, solve or eliminate. Because if they're keeping you down, just like those friends that don't want you to go up, those are the first things to get rid of your life or fix them. The other thing is you got to start developing emotional intelligence, which means just being less reactive. Being less reactive means not being impulsive. Start thinking before you speak. That means being more quiet around other people. I am struggling being in social environments, especially if I'm tipsy. Now, I've been sober for over a year and it's much easier to control for me. But all my life, I used to be a group clown. I used to be the person who is trying to be jokey and make fun either of myself or the situation, being very sarcastic and sort of semi-mean, but in a humorous way. And I loved pushing the limit. I see, okay, you like my jokes? I'll give you more. I'll give you more. And the jokes would get meaner, meaner, meaner. And sometimes the situation would get out of control and I would end up ruining the friend group, my reputation within that friend group. And I would end up having regrets and shame about what I've done. And that happened to me so many times. And now I'm not scared, but I don't want to be drinking around other people. And I know it's fun, but that's just one of the reasons that I realized once I started maturing and really starting to take responsibility and uncovering the reasons why I feel certain way about certain things. And I am the only one who knows those reasons. And I am the only one who feels that shame. And to move on from those things, you gotta understand that the life is moving on and you gotta forgive yourself for whatever you've done in the past because you are no longer that person. If you regret the things you've done, chances are you are not gonna repeat them because you've grown from it and you don't want to repeat them. You don't want to keep feeding that same old shitty habit. You don't want to be that immature, stupid, dumb kid that you've been. That's what's gonna get you growing and staying away from those things once and for all. Now, you're not gonna be protected from it fully, but that's what emotional intelligence is gonna give you. And it will require lots of practice. Not getting impulsive, it's hard, especially when you've been like that all your life. And if you really messed up, probably going for psychology sessions would help. There are books like 12 Rules for Life. That's a good starter by Jordan B. Peterson. Have it on my shelf. He has a few more books. That's a good start towards taking the responsibility for your life. Okay, next up, you gotta keep working on your communication skills. Unfortunately, we are social beings and not being able to communicate your ideas and thoughts and just being able to talk to people in general is not gonna get you where you wanna be. In order for us to become independent, we have to be good communicators. It's very hard for me to see the scenario where a great person doesn't have great communication skills. So you gotta work towards that. And that should start or would start with reading or listening audiobooks and then writing and eventually talking to the camera. If you don't have friends to talk to, and if you feel maybe scared to talk to people, camera is going to be a very, very good tool for you to film yourself and then analyze the footage, analyze your speech, analyze every every cuss word, every filler word, every silence, every misspeak. And that will help you to hopefully eliminate those things down the road. I know this because I feel way, way, way much more confident in my speaking, and I don't feel awkward talking with you right now at all. It's just becoming second nature to me. And I'm building these reps, and these reps are giving me confidence, and I'm paying my attention towards this. I'm focusing on this project, my YouTube channel project, and the more I focus on it, the more time I spend on it, the less likely I will be to quit it. Unless, of course, I burn out for whatever reason. But this time, I'm really enjoying this because I'm not forcing myself to niche down. I am just talking of whatever comes to my head on the day. And earlier today, I recorded one video, and now I felt compelled to record this other video. This video I'm recording right now. So it's working. It really is working. And you don't have to have a YouTube channel. You don't have to post these videos anywhere. But I encourage you to film the way you speak, or at least to listen to it to become a better speaker. Because if you don't analyze things, if you don't practice this skill, you will never get there. Simple as that. Lastly, but most importantly, you gotta start believing in yourself. And it sounds very silly, I guess. But if you don't believe in yourself, why would you even go for it? If you don't believe that you can achieve this dream or you can improve at all, why would you even start? And it's gonna be very hard at the start because, as I mentioned before, there are 500 reasons why not to do things. But once you get that ball rolling, the belief is gonna start developing, and then you'll start collecting the evidence that you're moving in the right way. And during this process, your goals and dreams might start shifting or changing, or you will completely flip them. But that's not a bad thing because that means that you're growing. You outgrew the initial goal, and it's good because you went for it. Yeah, now you improved and you're realizing, that's not really what I want. And then now you're going this way, but you're still going up. So it doesn't matter which way you go as long as you're going up. And if you choose to pursue a new career, or you have a passion that you would like to turn into business or something, you will go for it. And then you might realize, that's actually not for me. But then in that process, you will find something else. Actually, I really like this thing. And then you're going to go towards that thing. And then you might bounce for a while like that. But as long as you keep improving, eventually you'll get places that you couldn't even imagine. Because remember, you are not the same person. That person who is stuck right here would never do these things. You have to swim through this. I want to say shit. You got to swim through this path of development in order for yourself to become the person that actually is going to start realizing what they are and what they are meant to be. And then the opportunities are start popping up for you. Then you will be able to choose. But remember, you can't say yes to everything. You gotta differentiate the things that are taking you towards your goals and the things that are pulling you back down. So just be cautious, be careful, develop patience, develop discipline, and keep going for it. I believe in you.